Okay, let's take a look at the questions we missed on the Chapter 11 test. This time it was interesting. There wasn't really one big question that a bunch of people missed. Instead, each question was missed by maybe 3 or 4 or 5 people. So question 1 was missed by 3 of you. And so we have an angle here in our circle, and they tell us here that this angle represents 1/12 of the circle, and we're trying to figure that out in degrees. Well, to figure that out, we have to remember that a circle has 360 degrees. So down here, that's what they show us. They show us these equivalent fractions, and we're using these numbers to fill in these boxes. So if I take 12 times something to get 360, well, 12 times 3 is 36, so 12 times 30 is 360. And when we're working with equivalent fractions, I know that if I'm doing something to the denominator, I have to do the same thing to the numerator. So it's going to be 12 times 30 and 1 times 30. And actually, that means 1 times 30 is 30. So I'm going to put a 30 there too. The angle measure in this case is 30 degrees. Your numbers, your fractions may have been a little different. But that's my answer for that one. Okay. Question 2 was missed by 2 people. Okay. So we'll take a look at that one. Match the measure of angle C with the measure of angle D that forms a straight angle. So this is a little bit of a vocab question because you had to know what a straight angle is. And a straight angle is an angle that measures 180 degrees. So what I'm really asking here is this plus what is 180? So 22 plus 158 is 180. 132 plus 48 is 180. 165 plus 15 is 180. And 65 plus 115 is 180. Your numbers may have been different, but the idea is the same. You're adding C plus D to get 180. Okay. Question 3 was missed by 6 people. Katie drew an obtuse angle. Which could be the measure of the angle she drew? Select all that apply. This one I think is a little unfair. So technically, the only right answers here are B and D. I would totally understand if somebody said C, and I think it marked that wrong. Let me just check. Yep, try again. So a straight angle is 180. So technically, by that definition, an obtuse angle is between 90.0001 or so on. So anything more than 90 and anything less than 180. So that would just be 113 and 93, and then you would have had it right. So I totally understand if you picked 180 on that one, because 180 is an angle that's greater than 90. Question 4, 2 people missed. Okay. We are selecting an angle that represents a 3/4 clockwise turn. So clockwise means we need to be going in the direction of the clock, and that means we are getting rid of angle D because it is going counterclockwise. Okay. So if we go 3/4, 3/4 of a turn in a clockwise direction, well, that's only 1/4 of a turn, so it can't be B. A is a half a turn, but if I go from here to here, I've gone 3/4 of the way around the circle. I've done that in a clockwise direction, so that's going the way the clock hands would go. So C is my correct answer there. Okay. Question number 5, 4 people got wrong. We're selecting yes or no to tell whether the statements are true. The measure of a straight angle is 180 degrees. Well, that's definitely true, so that's a yes. To find the measure of angle X, Renee can subtract 20 from 180. And that's true because she knows that this piece is 20 degrees, that the whole thing is 180, so the missing piece would have to be 180 minus the 20 we already know. So that's true. The measure of angle X is 170. Well, that's not true because 180 minus 20 is 160. So the measure of angle X is 160 degrees, not 170 degrees. Okay. Question 6, we had 3 people miss. Use equations to explain how you find and check your answer. Enter an equation that can be used to find the measure of angle KFG. So the measure of KFG, something plus x equals 180. Well, let's see. If I have angle EFK plus my missing value, that would equal 180. Let's see if that's a choice. Well, they don't give me that exactly, but if they give me the two parts, so 56 plus 80, so this piece plus this piece plus this piece would equal the straight angle EFG. So that would be my equation. What's the measure of angle EFG? Well, we need to figure this out then. 56 plus 80 is 136. And then 136 subtracted from 180, well, 180 minus 40 would be 140. So 180 minus 44 would be 136. So that means angle KFG would be 44 degrees. First, I had to find the sum of 80 and 56. Then I had to subtract that sum from 180, which was the measure of the straight angle EFG. To check, add the three measures to make sure they equal 180. 56 plus 80 plus 44 is 180. Okay, so that's the idea for number 6. Number 7, we only have one person miss. Okay. We are measuring this angle using the protractor. I said I wish I would have had the chance to teach you guys or to let you guys use protractors in person. So I can see here that I am between, first of all, I have an acute angle. When you're looking at a protractor to figure out which numbers you're reading, you need to know if you're looking at an acute or an obtuse angle. I'm looking at an acute angle. I can see that it's between 20 and 30 degrees. I can see that it's less than 25, and it looks like there's 25, 24, 23. So I'm going to say that angle measures 23 degrees. Okay. Number 8, we had 2 people miss. Alex drew this angle on a circle, which describes the angle. Select all that apply. Well, counterclockwise is not correct. It's a clockwise turn here. So that's wrong. So that's right. Then is it a half turn or a 3/4 turn? Well, that's a 3/4 turn in this case. Your angle may have been different, but you have to look at the angle, compare it to the choices, select the ones that are true. Number 9 was a big one. Number 9, 10 people missed out of 24 that tried it. So Miles has a piece of paper that is 1/4 of a large circle. So I've already got a 1/4 of a circle. I've got a 90-degree angle here. He cuts that paper into 6 equal parts from the center point of the circle. What is the angle measure of each part? Well, first, if I'm starting with a 1/4 of a circle is 90 degrees. 360 divided by 4 is 90. So I'm starting with 90 degrees. Then I'm dividing 90 into 6 equal parts. Well, 90 divided by 6, 9 divided by 6 is 1. Then when I subtract, I get a 3, bring down the 0. So now I've got 30 divided by 6. That's 5. So 15 degrees for each piece of that angle. Okay, so I take that 90-degree circle and I divide it by 6. Okay, I think I did that already. Okay, question 10, one person missed. Choose the angle and its possible measure so they are ordered by the measure of angles from least to greatest. Well, the least angle that I see there is angle C. And its measure then could be 33 degrees. That's the least measure in that list. Angle A would be next. And it would be 92 degrees. And I can see that. It looks like it's about a right angle there. And 92 is almost a right angle. And that leaves angle B as my greatest angle. And angle B then would have to be 235 degrees. And that makes sense because I can see it's more than 180. So it's 235. Check my answer. And there we have it. Okay. So least to greatest, you're putting the numbers least to greatest, and you're in good shape. Question 11, 3 people missed. Drag and drop the numbers and symbols to make an equation to find the measure of the unknown angle. Well, let's see. If I take 90 and I add that to 31 and I add that to the x, then that should give me a straight angle of 180. I know this gets confusing because some of you want to do subtraction. You want to do 90 plus or 180 minus 90 plus 31 in parentheses, but they didn't give me those symbols here, so I have to realize that I can add this plus this plus this angle plus this angle plus this angle to get 180. Okay, then they want me to actually calculate it. So 90 plus 30 would be 120. That means 90 plus 31 is 121. 180 minus 121 is, 59 degrees. Number 12, everybody got correct, so we'll skip to number 13. 8 people missed number 13. Vince began practicing piano at 1:15 p.m., or I'm sorry, 11:15 p.m. Vince is a night owl. He stopped at 11:35 p.m. How many degrees did the minute hand turn during Vince's practice time? So we traveled 20 minutes, or 20/60ths of the circle. The minute hand turned from 11:15 to 11:35, which is 20 minutes. Since an hour is 60 minutes, that is 1/3. 20/60ths would simplify to 1/3. To find the fraction that is equivalent to 1/3 with a denominator of 360, because a circle measures 360 degrees. Okay. So 1/3, 3 times something equals 360. Well, 3 times 12 is 36. 3 times 120 is 360. Or no, I'm sorry, 3 times 120 is 360. So 1/3 equals 120 3/60ths. And that means the minute hand moved 120 degrees. Question 14, missed by 7 of you. An angle measures 130 degrees. Through what fraction of a circle does the angle turn? This one, you may have overthought it. I know for sure that if I do 130, 360ths, I believe it gives me credit for that. Okay. If you simplify that, I don't know if it still gives you credit or not. So let me try that. Let me try 13/36ths of a circle. There, I'm dividing by 10/10ths to get that. It does still give me credit. So it didn't matter if you did simplest form or not there. It should have given you credit for that either way. Okay. Question 15, missed by 5 folks. Select the letter for each angle measure in the box, in the correct box. So acute angles, well, we only have angle E there that is less than 90. Obtuse angles, angle A. Oh, I'm sorry, we have angle D that was less than 90. We have angle F, obtuse. Okay. We have one right angle, and that's angle B, and we have one straight angle, and that is angle C. Let's see, there were 6 angles. I used 6, so let's see. Yep, that is correct. Number 16, vocab again there. You had to remember what each of those terms meant. 16, only one person missed. Select the fraction that makes a true statement about each figure. The angle in figure A represents, and the angle here is the blue part, so that is a 3/4 turn, and then figure 2 is a 1/4 turn. Number 17 is the second most missed question on here, and that was missed by 9 of you. And this was a tricky one, I will admit. Yeah, this was a tough one. I can understand why this is the second most missed. Melanie cuts a rectangle out of a piece of scrap paper as shown. She wants to calculate the angle measure of the piece that is left over. So she is looking for this missing amount. And where this is confusing is this 123 represents this entire angle. And it kind of makes it look like it's just this side of it, and it's not. The whole thing is 123 degrees. In fact, this piece, you can tell almost by looking at it, would be, if it's a rectangle, this has to be a 90-degree angle. So if this whole thing was 123 and this side of it was 90, then I'm going to subtract 123 minus 90. So to complete and solve, measure of angle TSR, which is 90, plus the measure of angle NST would equal 123, which is RSN or NSR. Okay? So this piece plus this piece equals 123. So 90 plus x would equal 123. So what plus x is 123? 10 plus x, or 90 plus 10 is 100. 90 plus 30 is 120. So 90 plus 33 is 123. And that angle would measure 33 degrees. So as long as you're understanding that diagram, that one's not too hard. But you have to realize that 123 is that whole thing. And again, your number I know may have been different. Number 18, we had 5 people that missed. Select true or false for each statement. If two angles, angle A and angle B, form a right angle, and angle B is 78, well, if I have A and B together, and I might even draw this out so I can visualize it, if angle A and angle B are together, then B would have to be an acute angle because I would need 2 acutes to make a right. They'd both have to be less than a right. The equation 180 minus 78 degrees equals x degrees could find the measure of angle B. Well, that's not going to work because it's a right angle. So I need 90 degrees minus 78. So that's false. The measure of angle B is 12. Well, 90 minus 78 is 12. So 12 degrees is correct there. So that is how I would look at that one. Question 19 also had 5 people that missed it. Which sum could represent the angle measures that make up a circle? Select all that apply. Well, I'm going to start with the easy one here. 100, 100, 100, that's 300. 20, 20, 20 is 60. So that is definitely 360 right there. But are any of these other ones? Well, let's see here. Not really an easy way to look at that. So 40 plus 53 is 93. 93 plus 72, well, 90 plus 70 is 160. So that's 162. 162 plus 81. Well, 2 plus 1 would be 3. 16 plus 8 would be 24. So that's 243 degrees. Then if I add 90 to that, 243 plus 90 would be 333, and then plus 34. No, that's not going to come to an even 360, so A doesn't work. Okay. How about down here? Oh, this looks much easier. 20 plus 50 is 70. 70 and 60 is 130. 130 and 110 is 240, and 240 plus 120 is 360, so that one works. And then back here we have another kind of challenging one. I might start here with 101 plus, say, 83. That would be 184. Okay, and then 184 plus 52. Let's see, that's 236. 236 plus 31 is 267. And then plus 77. No, 7 and 7 aren't going to give me a 0 in the ones place. So it must just be B and D. There we go. Okay. And then finally, number 20, we had 2 people that missed this one. Finding the measure of the unknown angle. Even though this stick is in the middle, if I move this over, it's still going to match up. So this is still a 180-degree straight angle, this edge of the sign here. So angle Y would have to equal 180 minus 70, which is 110 degrees. Complete the explanation. Well, the sum of the angles would have to measure 180. Even though the angles are divided by a large bar, the angles still make up a straight angle. Okay, so hopefully that helps you understand any of the questions you missed. Go ahead and try that second chance. Only worry about the questions you missed on the first one. And so retry those items that you missed, and I will combine your scores and give you the score with both of those tests combined. So anything you got wrong the first time that you get right the second time, I'll give you credit for. Give it your best shot. If you have questions, make sure you type them in the comments or check me out during the virtual office hours, and I can explain things more that way as well. So thanks so much, everybody, for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.